Exclamation, everybody, and welcome back to Cube Ramblings, episode 13, I believe. 13. And I believe it's episode 13 and Cube World episode 44. For me, currently, it is a Saturday night, May the 24th of 2014. Hope everybody's been having a good week. It's a holiday weekend for us here in the United States. It's Memorial Day, and I have taken some extra days. I get Monday off as a federal holiday, but I took Friday off as well, so I was able to get caught up with some recording and various other things, life things, which tend to fall by the wayside quite frequently. And so I wanted to start off, first of all, by kind of just rehashing some old stuff here about what the hell I'm doing and what is going on on your screens. Every so often, like to just bring everybody up to speed, because I'm sure very few people have seen the very early stages of this adventure that I've been on. But this started out. It started out life as a traditional LP of Cube World. Yeah, that's the name of the game. And I quickly discovered that I got to about episode 11, I believe. And once I finished recording that, I realized that there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. It was very hard to do a traditional LP of this game in its current state, because there's a lot of grinding, a lot of sort of repetitive work, no storyline. It's all, you make your own story. It's kind of like Minecraft in that regard, but at least with Minecraft there are things to build. Here it's just, more and more stuff to kill, an endless stream of things to kill. And after a while you sort of becomes old hat and you need to find something to talk about. So I decided I would turn this into a podcast type of thing. If you're looking through my channel, you'll see that my early episodes I've actually moved into another playlist where I'm calling it sort of Cube Ramblings Season 0, if you will, because I didn't really have it branded as such. It was still just an LP of Cube World, and I was just doing a whole bunch of talking, much like I do now. But I decided to, right around I think it was episode 41, I believe it was, I decided to sort of rebrand this and make it something that sounds more like the podcasty type thing that it has evolved into, and that's when it became Cube Ramblings. It was Sunday Ramblings in Cube World. I still will occasionally call it that because it is a weekly Sunday thing. It's also the as far as consistent views go on my channel, it's actually the top thing. Second only to, or the second one on the list is LCM, Livecraft Mine server. So in Minecraft, so that surprises me. It surprises me a lot, because I kind of figured, it's a vloggy thing. I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about. I try to stay focused on talking about games, but the reality of the situation is there's not always enough news to talk about games, and it's always nice to be able to just talk about anything you feel like at the time. Apparently that's a very popular thing on YouTube. And I might as well play a game while I do it. So there is that. Some interesting statistics here. I noticed that I am level 91 right now, which I just leveled up here. I was level 90 when I started this session here, so I was right on the cusp there. Whenever you start up Cube World, it actually tells you how much land you have explored in your world. And as of the beginning of this episode, I was at 5,102 square kilometers have been explored as of the very, very beginning of this episode, right before I hit record here. So that is an incredible amount, I'm sure. And I've been sort of, the last couple of episodes, I've been sort of just wandering around aimlessly. when I started out, I was like, I'd like to explore as much of each biome as I possibly can before moving on to the next one. But now I've gotten a whole string of biomes that are fairly similar to the point where it doesn't really, I've seen quite a lot of the biomes, and there's not a whole lot that of difference in them in terms of the ones that I've seen recently. And I think the other thing that broke me of doing that too was when I was in the snow biome right around Christmas time, December and whatnot. That thing that got so monotonous after a while because there was nothing to see really, that I was like, you know what, from here on out I'm just going to spend a couple episodes in each biome and then just move on and just keep on keeping on. So that's what I've been doing recently with this. What's interesting here is I'd like to see, I think I got this, I'll have to look back at the videos, but I think I have a recipe, I know, for my ranger that is power 100, and I believe I bought it from a merchant very early on, probably when I was level 5 or so. And I think now that I'm level 91, I think my power is still in the 80s range. I'm not quite to power 100 yet, so I'm kind of interested to see. That'll be sort of a mini milestone, I think, is when, given that I've carried that recipe around all these episodes, and I still haven't been able to use it because I haven't been the powerful enough to use it. It'll be sort of a little mini milestone if I eventually get to the power level necessary for that. I thought I would be, once I got to level 100, I'd be able to do it, but it doesn't look like the power levels work quite that way. Your power level doesn't quite go up with your actual experience level. So I'm a little bit behind with that, so we'll have to see what goes on there. Also, I'm still using this red bow and arrow, which all the red weapons in this game are quote-unquote the broken weapons. They're not balanced yet. There's something wrong with them. They're, uber overpowered, that kind of thing. They were left in, the dev left them in because it was still fixing them. It's still an alpha game. But whenever you run across them, they're usually way overpowered from what their stats actually say. So that's why I've been carrying this around, but it's like level 53 or something, power 53 or something like that. And I'm still doing a good amount of damage. It's just that it would be nice to get some higher level bows that actually match up with it. I can craft them, but none of them seem to have as much damage potential as this one does. So hence the whole red item thing. So that sort of catches you up on a little bit of those things. Some other little statistics. Cube World here was meant to be my thing. That's why you see my avatar on my YouTube channel and on my Twitch and Twitter and all those things are my Cube World character. My YouTube channel banner is a screenshot from Cube World, a partial screenshot because I wanted to cut out some of the UI interface, but there was no way to turn it off. And I launched my channel with making my very first Cube World episode was the very first thing that I ever set the public on my YouTube channel, which was back on July 27th of 2013. So this July, which is coming up rather rapidly actually, will be my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube. So my 1 year anniversary of uploading to YouTube. I created my account I think a week or so before that, but I'm not counting that. I'm counting the actual first day that my videos went public, because I think I uploaded like 6 videos when I initially started, and then I was only doing, at that time I was only doing Saturdays and Sundays for videos. I was only doing the weekends because I was very afraid, and it still frightens me a little bit, but not as much as it did. I'm still very afraid that I would not have the time and to put the videos up and then become wildly inconsistent with them. And that's the worst thing you can do as a small channel, is to become inconsistent, because then people just sort of lose interest. So that's always been my mandate, is to always try to make sure that I'm consistent. And now I'm at a point now where I'm just doing one video a day. And I don't remember when I switched to one video a day. It hasn't been a year, not even close. I think, I want to say I didn't switch to that until maybe January of this year. I'll have to look back on YouTube and see, because I made a channel update when I did it. Prior to that, I was doing 3 videos a day, Saturday and Sunday. So 6 videos total over the weekend, and that's when I decided, you know, I'm just going to do them once a day. So I stopped spamming spamming the videos out there. So as far as the one video a day thing, that was probably January of this year. I don't think it's been that long. It feels like it's been longer, but that's also why it doesn't feel like it's been 1 year of YouTube in a few months, because you know, I haven't been doing the one video a day thing for that long. But I figured I'd just catch up on some of the history of Cube Ramblings, where it came from, what is going on, and what has happened. The Cube world itself has not been updated since July. Actually, right before. Was it right before? Yeah, right before my first video went live. I think the 25th of July was the last time 25th of July 2013 was the last time that Cube World was updated. And that was a small patch to keep it from melting through people's video cards, amongst other things. It also fixed the flying glitch thing that the Rangers used to be able to do, where you could jump backwards and while you had a hang glider and basically fly for forever without losing any stamina along the way. So various things of that nature. Still waiting for the next update. Hopefully it'll be coming in the next couple months. We'll see. I don't know. I have no information. I don't think anybody has any information. The only one that has that information is Wally. So we'll see. I'm waiting, and I'm hoping. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a pretty, from what I can tell, from all the information that's been sent out, the various little bits and pieces of information, it's going to be a rather large update. And I don't know if this world is going to be compatible with it. I kind of, on the one hand, I'm kind of like, you know, it'd be nice to start a new character, because I have been a ranger for all this time, and I haven't tried any of the other classes at all. But on the other hand, there's a lot of history. A lot of history with this character, a lot of history with this world. And I'm wondering whether or not it's going to be backwards compatible with what's there, with what's here, you know, because the biomes have changed. They're going to be smaller. The questing has changed, those kinds of things. So I don't know how compatible it will be once it comes out. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, whether or not I'll be able to, whether or not I'll continue with this world, or if I'll start a new world, or whether or not I'll continue with this character or start a new character. Because you can take your character into multiple worlds, you can take your character into multiplayer worlds, all that stuff. So we'll see. We will see what happens when the information is available, whenever that comes upon us. So it's been we're getting some nice weather now out in where I'm at. We're finally into, I would say, into the springtime. Well, actually, I mean, we are officially into springtime, but we're not into summer yet. That'll be in June. But it's nice. We're finally getting some nice weather. We had a particularly brutal winter time. It was quite bad. I was I was suffering quite a bit with my skin and everything, kind of getting all chapped from the cold weather and everything else. And it took its toll on several other things as well. I have a few paint jobs I'm going to have to do on the house because I've lost some paint around the door and whatnot because it was so brutal. And yeah, we're getting like 73-degree weather here, which is in Fahrenheit, which to the rest of the world is, I believe, 22.8 degrees centigrade, which, I think it's very comfortable. I haven't had to put the air conditioner on or anything yet. I've been able to just kind of have a ceiling fan running and a window open, and things are pretty well today. I'm pretty happy here. Everything's good. Although I feel like, because I always have this debate when I'm on the LCM servers, like, oh, apparently it's very hot right now over in the UK, and it's I just feel like we should, as Americans, those of us in America, should probably come up with a different temperature scale just to screw with the rest of the world, because already they hate the fact that we use Fahrenheit. So I feel like we should just, our weather people should just come on, on the TV and just go, okay, tomorrow's high is going to be 5.5 cheeseburgers or some other crazy measure just to screw with the rest of the world, because why not? They're already kind of scratching their heads every time we say, oh, it's 70 degrees in here. Like, what? It's the surface of the sun there? So that's my thought. That's my thought on it. As far as my channel's been going, I decided to, on a whim, just pick up Wolfenstein: The New Order. I'd read some reviews on it, and all the reviews had been really good. So I thought, well, let me just try it. I'm not a big first-person shooter guy. I do play them, but I'm not big into them, unless they're like sci-fi shooters, like Deus Ex, say. But I thought, let me try it. It's been a long time since I played a Wolfenstein game. I did not play any of the remakes that were previous to it, like Wolfenstein, or Return to Castle Wolfenstein, or Wolfenstein, which was that year when all the games companies were like, let's just call them the names that they used to be, and we'll just say they're remakes, and instead of just coming up with something original. That's when you got all like the Tomb Raider, and Doom something, right? Was Doom? No, the Doom is coming out now, or soon, because as part of getting the Wolfenstein: The New Order, I think there was a special on Steam when I bought it, and as part of that, I think I got a beta access key to the new Doom game or something like that. I don't know. I can't. That's what I read just very briefly, and I can't. I have to look back and see again. But yeah, they had this whole naming thing where it's like, yeah, let's just name it the same thing it used to be called, so that we can confuse the hell out of everybody. So apparently this one is sort of is a sequel to that chain of events. Kinda. It's also kind of rewrites it a little bit. It's sort of going the Legend of Zelda route there a bit. So I've been having some fun with it. Been having a lot of fun with it. I'm surprisingly enough, I've gotten into it really good, to the point where I'm cracking lots of jokes while I'm in there, which I think makes it bearable, at least for me. It's not that the gameplay is bad or anything like that. It's just that there's a point when you suck so badly at something that you start to rue the day you ever bought it. And I was getting to that point with the game, but then as I started cracking some more jokes, it became much more interesting to me to play it that way. So that is where I stand with that. Also, so as far as that goes, as far as the schedule goes on that, I'm doing sort of a special this weekend where, since it's a holiday weekend, I'm going to put one video of that up each day, and then I'm going to figure out where it's going to fit into the actual schedule afterwards. Because obviously, 4 videos, it's going to take more than 4 videos to get through that game. From what I understand, it's 12 to 15 hours, which will probably be closer to 15 hours for me, or 20 hours for me, because I keep replaying and replaying because I die all the time. So we'll see where that fits in the schedule. I'm not sure yet. Deus Ex. Mirror's Edge is winding down, and my plan after Mirror's Edge winds down, was to play Watch Dogs, which Watch Dogs is not out on PC yet, but it is out on, I believe, the PS4 and Xbox One. So you'll start to see some gameplay footage of it, apparently. Although not on Twitch, because I logged into Twitch the other day and I got a message like, no, this is under NDA or NDA until the 27th. You can't, you can't stream this yet, even though it's available on the consoles, which have their own streaming now. So that's interesting, and I intend to pick that up right after Mirror's Edge is done. However, there might be a week or two in there where I need to just, record and edit stuff. So it may not be directly afterwards. So maybe Wolfenstein will slip in there for a little bit until Watch Dogs slips into there. I don't know. I'm not sure. What I do know is that, I was thinking Watch Dogs, since it's an open world game, that it would probably be good to just stream that on Twitch. But from what I understand, there is some adult themes in there, which makes streaming it somewhat impractical, because you don't want you're still under the same restrictions that everyone else is under, which is everything needs to be wholesome and family friendly on streams. So no nudity and all that stuff. So I don't know how people are going to stream it unless they know exactly where that stuff comes in, and they're going to just cut away while they play it and then come back, or they're just going to throw caution to the wind and just do it, which might be closer to the thing, and hope for the best. So I won't be streaming that, I don't think. That'll be a YouTube thing strictly. And then also LCM stuff. I have switched over to doing that twice a week now. I have a lot of different builds that I'm working on. I'm trying to have like one smallish build along with the larger builds that I have. That way I can sort of turn them out a little bit faster, some of the videos. Although this last video ended up being like 45 minutes, which was not my intention, but I ended up talking, and I thought it was kind of interesting what I was talking about, so I just I kept it in. I didn't cut too much of it out, which I guess is okay from time to time. I had gotten some feedback prior, that it gets a little bit boring when you have a 45-minute episode. So I try to keep them down to 25 to 30 whenever I possibly can. So that's the thing. That's all the happenings that are going on as far as my channel is concerned. Now that we're about halfway through my normal 45-minute episodes here, I can then switch gears and talk about some gaming stuff, which I'm sure most people are here to hear more than that than to hear me talk about the weather. Some updates to I have a couple things that I held over from last week, so it's going to be kind of old news, but I'll get to them after I give like a Kickstarter update here. So some of the Kickstarters that I've been following, that I've contributed to, have completed successfully at that. So Hover Revolt of Gamers, that is the indie sort of Mirror's Edge-ish / Jet Set Radio setting game. That had already surpassed its funding even when I contributed to it, but it is now closed, and it ended up with 3,843 Kickstarter backers, $116,398 raised out of the $38,000 they wanted. So that is really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing some early alphas of that game. I think that will be something that I'll be very interested in. The Universe Sim pulled it out at the very end here. They had 11,617 backers. They managed to raise $387,345 on Kickstarter, but over $400,000 between Kickstarter and their separate PayPal thing. So what that means, and they were originally looking for $320,000. So what that means is, since they got over $400,000 with their PayPal donations, we now get dinosaurs in game. So there will be a dinosaur sort of era that you can go through. And Pop-Up Dungeon earlier this week, I was very happy to see it. They surpassed their funding goal. They had 3,131 backers for a total of $100,946 out of the $80,000 that they needed. And that means a much confirmed Wii U version. Although, given some of the state of the console, the Wii U version might not be something that is worth their time, but it's certainly something that they can do for those who have a Wii U console. Which sort of drives me into some of the other news I had from last week around the consoles. First of all, from what I understand, the PS4 has been selling like hotcakes, more so than the Xbox. There was an article on Polygon about it. I'm not going to bother to link to it because it's I'm going to have to go digging for it because it's been a couple weeks now. And it's kind of boring marketing speak, like, oh, we shipped this many units and this many things. But suffice it to say, PS4 has been more popular than the Xbox One has been. But here's my problem. Now, I'm not normally a console gamer, although I say that knowing full well that back in the day, that's all there was. And I had all the consoles back in the day. Well, most of them, anyway. I had, I wouldn't even say most of them. I had some of them back in the day. My brother had quite a few others. That's why I'm saying like most. Because I had exposure to more than I would have normally had. So, back in the day, my brothers owned an Atari 2600. So that was my first system that I worked on, or that I played on. A little bit of River Raid and Enduro and several other games. What was it? Pitfall? Pitfall was another one I liked a lot. And then I got a original Nintendo Entertainment System. That was the thing that I had the most games for. Later on, got the Super Nintendo once that came out. Had a bunch of games for that as well. But it was around that time that my brother also got sort of branched off and did other things as well. So he got Sega Genesis. And he also had the Sega CD, which is apparently very kind of rare in North America to have the Sega CD. Not too many people bought it. It wasn't as successful as the actual console itself. So had some exposure to that. We played actually one of the last people to play Night Trap on the Sega CD before it was pulled from all the shelves. We actually, that was back in the day when you would rent things from Blockbuster. You rent the games from Blockbuster. Back when Blockbuster was actually still a thing. Blockbuster Video, that is. And yeah, so had some experience with that. Also, I remember playing a Wing Commander game on that system, but I have not found what actually name of that game was. But I remember playing it on the Sega CD, and I remember it was pretty much Wing Commander 1, but it had actual voice acting in it instead, and it had some cutscenes that the Wing Commander 1 on Super Nintendo did not have. Because I played Wing Commander 1 on Super Nintendo, and I played Wing Commander Secret Missions on Super Nintendo, but I never played them on the anything else. I did eventually. I do have the Kilrathi Saga for PC, so I could go back on my PC and actually play the old games. I have the entire 1 and 2 plus the Secret Missions 1 and 2 plus Special Operations 1 and 2. I have those. They're all part of the Kilrathi Saga. Also, I have Wing Commander 3, which I had on CD anyway, but I would have to use the Kilrathi Saga version of it because one of my CDs cracked. It was very, very, very upsetting day. I went to pull it. I was actually doing another playthrough of it, playing it on DOSBox, which I have installed on here. And Went to pull the CD out of the jewel case, and it cracked in half. Was not happy with myself with that. But you can also get them. You can get the digital versions of them on GOG now and all that stuff. So, which I might actually do, because the Kilrathi Saga version that I have is actually one that I got with PC Gamer magazine. Was it PC Gamer or PC Magazine? Can't remember which. Not PC Magazine. There was some other gamer magazine that I had that became PC Gamer or something like that. But one of those had, one of the magazines had. They used to come with a CD. I had that subscription that came with a CD. And it usually had demos and stuff, but every so often they gave you like full versions of games that were no longer purchasable, kind of abandoned at the time anyway. And the one they had was Wing Commander Kilrathi Saga. They had a couple other things on there. The original Deus Ex, which I never actually purchased, I have on one of those DVDs as well. That one, actually I have it right next to me because I was playing it, for the live stream. That was from Computer Gaming World. Yes, that was the one. I think the other one is from PC Gamer or Computer Gaming World. I can't remember which one. But what else was on this? This was like a special edition DVD, and it had 5 free games. I'm actually pulling the cover here, the CD over, the DVD over, to see what was on it. What came on this one? So this was January 2004, and it came with the full Deus Ex version. It was the Game of the Year edition. Thief 2: The Metal Age, which I never played through at all, came on there. Dark Age of Camelot, which I've never played. Warlord's Battle Cry. Can't say I ever played that either. America's Army 1.9. I'm almost certain I never played that because the military shooters were never my strong suit. Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King and Lord of the Rings: War of the Ring. Oh, those were demos. Okay. Those weren't the full games. Those were the actual demos for those. I don't even remember what those games entailed, to be honest with you. Empire's Dawn in the Modern World. That's also a demo that was on there, not a full game. Lords of EverQuest was a demo on there, but not a full game. Oh, 13. That was a shooter that I never actually played that looked kind of interesting. That was a cel-shaded sort of comic book-ish look to it. Like you would, whenever you did a death, how they have like the death cameras now on games, to show the kill shots, kill cams. In that, the kill cams were like not comic book, but I guess comic book cells that would show off, and they would show the animation would be sort of inside the cell for that. That looked interesting, although what I remember reading about it, it was very haphazard. Like the story was kind of weird and not cohesive or coherent in it. And then Doom 3 preview. Again, these were all demos on there, not the full games. Full games were the first 5 that I said. Deus Ex, Thief 2, Dark Age of Camelot, Warlord's Battle Cry, and America's Army. And then the other one that has the Kilrathi Saga on it, which I don't have in front of me here. Or I probably do, but it's probably underneath a mountain of crap here. That had a few other games on it as well. That had like the classic, quote-unquote classic games on it. So I think that one has the original Thief on it, because I know I have the original Thief, which means I have Thief and Thief 2, which I just dawned on me, didn't realize, because I know I have the original Thief around here somewhere, because I played it. I didn't play it all the way through, but I played some of it, and then I just kind of put it down because it's a stealth game and it was a little bit too hard for me. And then there was a few other things on there too that I can't recall off the top of my head. But yeah, wow, way off on a tangent there. But yeah, as far as the consoles go, this generation, I don't know. I've been trying to see. I mean, the only reason I bought a Xbox 360 and a PS3 was because at the time that I bought them, PC gaming had kind of died off. It was very difficult to find good games The indie scene hadn't really taken off yet. There were some indie games, but they weren't really, there wasn't any easy way to get them. I didn't really know about Steam at the time. Steam was kind of crap at the time too. You know, it wasn't as decent as it is right now. I say decent in quotes. And, you know, there was not a whole lot as far as AAA games on there. All the AAA games were going to the consoles. You know, they had all these exclusives and all that stuff. So that's the only reason why I had those. And I have quite a few Xbox 360 games that if I ever get my situation, my office situated here, I would like to get a TV in here and actually use my DVR to maybe record off the Xbox 360 or something like that. Some of those games that I have around that I don't have PC equivalents of, or maybe I'll just buy the PC version because I'll probably have more fun with that. But we'll see. And so I've been kind of looking to see if there is anything out there that I would really enjoy and that's console exclusive, that isn't something I can just get for easier on the PC. And there really hasn't been anything that I really want. I mean, Titanfall kind of had me at first, and then I found out that it's just crap. So there wasn't really any reason for that. The Xbox One, in general, very expensive for very little. The whole Kinect thing was kind of like, I don't really want this. You know, there's no real reason for me to have it. And of course, the reason I bring this up is there was a article last week that I had listed on here where Microsoft is dropping the Kinect requirement altogether. And coming June 9th, there's going to be a $400 version, $399 version of the console that does not have the Kinect on it, because they're finding out that number one, no games were really utilizing it well, except for maybe the dancing games. Number two, nobody buys dancing games. And number three, their price point was basically hurting them because PS4 is killing them. Sony's kind of killing them in the console wars, if you will. So they've started to renege on some things. Also, there was an article saying that Xbox Live is not going to require, you don't need a gold subscription Xbox Live to get Netflix anymore and a few other streaming things, which was kind of brain dead to begin with, because you're paying for Netflix, so why would you pay for Netflix and also Xbox Live Gold? You know, it was Microsoft trying to double dip, and they failed. So they're reneging on it. And so a lot of those changes are going on. I think there's a lot of sweating going on in Redmond right now about certain things, about things with the Xbox. The Xbox division has been, if I remember correctly, very profitable for them. And the fact that their profits are getting really chopped in half here, I think has them kind of scared. And they're kind of doing some scared things like, oh, we better jump back and look at what we're doing and figure out what we need to do better here. But on top of all that, even when I look at that and I look at the PlayStation 4, like I can't think of any real games that are exclusive to those consoles that I'd want to buy a console for, right? Because you look like, we'll use Titanfall as an example, right? A decent game, but is the game worth, $400 plus $60 or $70, whatever the game itself costs, to buy it? I mean, is it worth that much money? Is there any other games on there that are worth the money? Because I can't find any that are exclusive to the consoles. I mean, most of them that I want to play also have PC versions, which is awesome. This is why PC has resurged as a gaming platform, which is ridiculously great. It's a great time to be a PC gamer. Not so great a time to be a console gamer, I would say. But then again, the consoles are an easier way for people to sort of get into, if you wanted to get into live streaming and stuff like that. Now that they're all connected to Twitch and everything else, you know, it's an easy way to get into that. But not much exclusivity on there that would be worth your time that you couldn't do on a PC. And on top of all that, so I was looking at some PS4 stuff, and I'm like, well, what would cause me to buy a PS4? Because the PS3 that I have, I quite literally have one game for it, the game that came with it, which is a sort of an archery multi-game thing, because I have the wand thingies, and the sword fighting thing was awesome. I loved the hell out of that, but the problem with that was I got pretty far along in it, and then the game starts cheating. Quite literally starts cheating. It's like there's no physically human possible way to swing your arm fast enough to block the computer towards the end of that game. And that's when I kind of threw up my hands and said, this is bullshit, and I'm not going to play this anymore. And I never bought any other games for it because there was nothing else for it that I really wanted. Everything else that I had on the 360, and I haven't turned on my 360 in probably 2 years now, which means when I go to turn it on, it's going to have 9,000 updates probably. That's going to take all day to download. So the only thing that I can think of, the only thing that I've seen thus far that I think might get me to buy a PS4 is this Drive Club game. It's a racing game. It's apparently going to be the bee's knees from what I've read. I think it's open world. It's got some kind of multiplayer thing to it that people are saying like, oh my god, this is going to be great for social driving, which I've never heard the term social driving before. So immediately my ears perked up and I'm like, okay, I got to take a look at this. Is it going to be worth the price of the console plus the price of the game? I don't know. Beyond that, would I ever have any time to play on it? I don't know. Because one thing I can say is that Sony is a lot more... The PlayStation consoles are harder to record off of than the Xbox, because you can't get the HDMI out on them. It's locked down with the encryption, HDMI encryption. Now, apparently there's going to be a patch sometime in the future that will address that, but you know, they're not going to be in any rush to do that. Of course, that also brings in the live streaming. I could do a live stream from it, which Drive Club sounds like something you would rather live stream than anything else. But it's still, is it worth it? I don't know. There's no, I mean, I would be, again, buying a console and only having one game for it. The only other thing on my radar, as far as consoles go, is Halo 5, which was just announced last week that there's going to be a Halo 5, Guardians, coming in the fall of next year. And then the thing with that is, it's probably going to be Xbox exclusive, but we're not sure, because every time it comes up, they're like, well, we might do a PC version. So I don't know. It's every release of Halo, people ask, is there going to be a PC version? And every time they're like, we're going to think about it, and then it never materializes, except for the very first Halo, Combat Evolved. So I don't know. I don't know about that one either. I still have Halo 4 sitting on my Xbox 360 right now, and I haven't gone back to it because I just haven't felt like it. I haven't finished it, so I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, on the heels of that, Halo 5 announcement, they also announced that there's going to be a TV series that is going to be executive produced by Steven Spielberg. A Halo TV series, yes. Live action Halo TV series. which, if done properly, would be actually pretty damn awesome. Now, what do I mean by done properly? Well, there was a series produced by Machinima. I think it was last year. And it was done exclusively on YouTube. It was exclusively a web series. What was it called? It was called Forward Unto Dawn, right? That series actually was really good. I actually really enjoyed that. It was a little hokey at times, but it was actually really good. And if a Halo live-action TV series can take something like that and make it even better, then I might actually go back to watching TV again. I might actually have something worth, spending time on TV to watch. It's been a long time since I've actually made appointments with my TV to sit down and watch something. It's been a very, very long time. So that would be the thing that got me to sit down and do that, probably. So that's my thought on it. That's, again, I'll have links to all that information in the description as always. And I think we've made a good bit of progress here. We're up to level 93, which is crazy pants. Just absolutely crazy pants. Just trying to make some more food here. I'm out of all the food and all the potions here. So I'll just mention something else too really quickly. There's a game that I've been following called Transistor. It's a little indie game, sort of a tactical RPG. That just came out on the 20th. It's by Supergiant Games, the people that brought us Bastion. I played Bastion on the Xbox 360. Loved the hell out of it. Played it all the way through. I think I played it all the way through. Pretty sure I did. Loved the hell out of it. There is a PC version of it as well, which I might actually go and pick up at some point and go back and play it, amongst other things. Whenever the feeling arouses me. But Transistor is the next indie game that I intend to put on my channel after Ethereum does its run. So other than that, I think we're just about wrapped up here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next Sunday.